Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Dave and Mal. I'm Dave, of course, if you haven't seen the channel yet. Today, I'm going to go over our finances for the whole year, for the last 12 months, and give you a total of what we spent in 1 year living here in Calbayog City, Philippines. We are on Samar Island, and our prices will probably be a little bit different than, say, Cebu or Manila, Dumaguete, Davao. Our prices are, different. And it also has to do with how you want to live. If you want that Western culture, you're going to spend more. We are a family of three, my wife, my son, and I. And we live in this apartment until we can start building. The rain has delayed that. It's just been one of those years, and we just cross our fingers and hope for a better 2026. So the first portion of the expense is an every month overall expense. And that's going to be your rent, electric, Wi-Fi, water, drinking water, propane, food. So we're going to go over that right now, and I'll give you a total of what we spend per month, and then what we spent for the year, and give you a total in US dollar also. So when I go into my rent, I've done a couple of videos on this. We paid 15,000 pesos. And all the exchange rate, when I put it in there for the whole year, from January until December 1st, the peso goes up and down all the time, but when we average it out, it was at 57.5 for the year. So that's what I'm basing these numbers off from, because every month it'll go up and down, but the average across is 57.5 per US dollar. So like I said, my rent is 15,000, which is 260 US dollars a month. And for the year, that's 180,000 pesos, which is 3,103 US dollars. I'm going to be looking down at my cheat sheet. I can't memorize two sheets with the numbers, so bear with me once in a while. Our electric was, on average, over the 12 months, was right at 7,000, which is 122 US dollars a month. And it doesn't sound like much, but this is a very small footprint. This is a two bathrooms, one garage, which doesn't eat up any electricity other than lights. And we have a laundry room in the back here. So 122 US dollars per month, that's 84,000 pesos for the year. And our electric for the in 2025 was 1,448 US dollars. So our Wi-Fi, that's the same. It's locked in. It's $17.99. We just call it 1,800 pesos a month, which is 31 US dollars, which is 21,600 pesos per year. And that is 372 US. And I'm going to say US for the last time. This is all in US currency and peso. Our house water, which we use for washing dishes, doing laundry, taking showers, flushing the toilet, washing the vehicle outside, that averaged us 550 pesos a month, which is $9.56. And that is 6,600 pesos for the year, which was $113. And these numbers blow me away when I look back how much it cost me to live in Southern California the last year before I came over here. 113 was like a third or fourth of it was almost a half of my water bill there. Our drinking water, the one that we consume, we spend about 500 pesos a month, just on average. Some months we drink we do 4 5-gallon jugs per week. So that costs us $8.70 per month. And I think I was paying $6.50 per 5 at Walmart in Palm Springs. So it's a huge cost difference of living. That is 6,000 pesos a year for drinking water, which is $103. So basically water altogether is $216 for the whole year, drinking and washing water. Our food is the biggest one, usually is. It is 25,000 pesos. And sometimes it's 22, sometimes it's 28, but we average it out to 25,000 pesos. which is 434 US dollars. So we spent 300,000 peso on our groceries, which is 5,172 US dollars. So our total monthly, and I didn't put down the monthly expense as far as US dollars, but we spent 50,150 pesos divided by 57.5. We spent 872 US dollars on our hard bills. Things are always the same, pretty consistent within a couple thousand pesos, 20 to 60 bucks difference. For the year, we spent 601,800 pesos on our rent, electric, Wi-Fi, house water, drinking water, propane, and food. So that is 10,466. I think I skipped the propane. It was 3,600 this year. It's 2 tanks. They last about 6 months. I divided that by 12, came out to 300 pesos a month, which is $5.21. So we paid $62 for our propane. So overall, food, propane, drinking water, house water, Wi-Fi, electric, and rent, right? That was 10,466 US. Not a bad gig. That's pretty amazing, because that's to me, mortgage in the US and all this together would probably be around 40,000 US where I was at. So when I was doing my visa extension, and I extend for 60 days at a time, they used to allow you to do 6 months, but they only allow you to do that, I believe, in Manila. Used to do 6-month extensions, and they changed it back to every 2 months. I'm on a 13A now, so I just got a report between January and I believe it was March. Just report in, fill out a form, and pay a couple hundred pesos. So that's changed now. But when I was doing it, every 2 months, it cost me around 3,200 pesos, which was $55.65. Now over the year, that was 19,200 pesos, which was 333 US dollars for my visa extensions here in the Philippines. Next, we're going to jump, and I'm kind of going through as fast as I can because some of this is pretty boring to some people, but it's okay. If you want to know, this is a family 3, and this is what it cost me. Our scooter maintenance this year averages out about 500 pesos a month, about $8.70. So we spent 6,000 pesos, and that is 104 US dollars. And that's doing your oil changes and a 2,000 peso tire, that kind of stuff. Our van that we've had for 6 months, the oil and filter change on that, we spent 4,500 pesos divided by 6 months equals 750 pesos a month, which is $13 a month to own that van so far. And then we've invested $77 in the last 6 months. Then our fuel has gone up because of the van. Next year we'll have a really good feel of how much fuel we're burning. But since we only had the van 6 months and we've been running the scooters, they get phenomenal kilometers per liter here. But our fuel averaged out to 2,500 pesos per month, which is 43.50 US dollars. We spent 30,000 pesos in a year on fuel, which is $521. Now, back in the States, I had a 2020 Dodge Ram 2500 diesel Cummins engine, and I was spending $500 every 2 weeks on that truck. We have insurance, and the insurance, when we bought the van, it came with 1 year insurance and registration. So next year we'll have that additional insurance to pay for. And then the Honda ADV 160 we purchased this year came with 2 years of insurance. So I don't have any of that on insurance on those 2 vehicles right now because it came with it. But our Honda Click and our Honda Beat both have insurance. So that averaged out to 600 pesos per month, which is $10.43. The year was 7,200 pesos, and it cost 125 US dollars. Anyways, the insurance, you got to have LTO. For the LTO registration, you have to have the CTPL, which is third-party liability insurance, basically, and you can't renew your registration unless you have that. And then comprehensive insurance covers your bike and medical. In case of accidents, thefts, the typhoons, or your bike gets flooded, or vandalism. So that costs us $125 this year for those two bikes. So total for the whole year for the scooters, the van, oil filters, fuel, insurance on the two bikes was $907 US. And then our son goes to private school, and the school's like $28,000, but then there's a bunch of extra stuff and parties and stuff you have to pay for. That's right at $35,000 for the year, and I'm very happy with that because it averages out to $2,900 a month, and we paid all at once just to get it over with and not have to make payments. But that's $50.71 for a kid to go to a private school, and that is $608 US. And I can't believe that's it for the school. I'm happy to pay it, but in the States it'd be a whole bunch more. So we don't have the insurance here. We're doing the self-insure, and I've been looking into other stuff, but we average probably about $15,000 a month. Is what we're doing right now, which is $260. So there's $180,000 a year that'll get put into the insurance program. And if you calculate that for the last 3 years, it starts really building up. And thank goodness we haven't had any serious injuries. And that is $3,130 a year just tucked away. So if you do that for the 3 years, you'll have over $9,000, about $9,400 just sitting there for emergencies. And I think once you get to a certain level, you can start backing down off that. If I have major, I'll just fly back to the States and use my insurance back there. That doesn't work here. So this year we did quite a bit of traveling. We traveled back and forth when we ordered the van in Cebu. We had to fly back there, get the van, do a row back here, a ferry that hauls equipment. We averaged 25,000 pesos a month, which is $434 US. That's not every month. We just save up and then we'll take off. But that's about 300,000 pesos in just traveling. And that was $5,217. Our clothing, I think we average probably around 5,000 a month, give or take. Some months are more, some are less. It just averages out. That's about $87 a month for clothing for my wife, my son, and I. That's $60,000 a year, which is $1,043. So I think that's pretty fair, because I remember paying, $100 for a shirt back in the States, keeping up with the Joneses, which I don't do anymore because it doesn't matter. Miscellaneous, we just kind of had $10,000 a month in miscellaneous. If you're out riding around, you want to get a drink, water, buy a snack, do whatever you want to do. That's $120,000 a year pesos, which is $2,086 US. And then the total for your travel, clothing, miscellaneous is about 40,000 pesos every month. And then that's 480,000 for the year. And that is $8,347 we spent on travel, clothing, and miscellaneous. Then this year, Xmas, we spent $17,000 one trip, groceries, everything else. We're basically going to spend about 30,000 pesos this year for Christmas. I know some won't, some will. That averaged out to $2,500 per month, saving for that, which is $43, and that is $521. So the whole year we've spent on everything that we do, our travel, our vehicles, insurance, our cost of actual living here, rent, Wi-Fi, all that stuff. We spent 1,397,900 pesos, which equals $24,312 US. So if you cut that down, divide it by 12, that gives you $2,026 a month. And I would say that that's a hell of a good bargain living here in the Philippines. So our additional things that we did purchase this month, we had some really big purchases. Our land, the van, we bought the new scooter, the Honda ADV 160. Our van, to have it custom built the way we wanted it, was 352,000 pesos, which was 6,121 US dollars. I bought the ADV 160, that was 162,000, and that was $2,817. And then our property is 1,000 square meters. Our property, our lawyer fees, our processor to get the title on the property, which is getting closer every day, to clear the property, chopping it down to dirt, getting all the trees and long grass and everything, get that cleared. We've had gravel delivered for the driveway because we didn't like, it was a mud pile. We spent, on top of our 1,397,000 pesos, we spent additional 1,263,907 pesos. I think I might have stated that wrong. 1,397,900 pesos on our normal living costs, and the van, ADV, and our 1,000 square meter property with all the processing involved. Oh, the geodetic also was 1,263 peso 907. So that was another 21,981 US dollars. So this year we spent 2,661,807 pesos, which is $46,292. That was an expensive year. I think the year before we spent 19 or 20,000, but as I get more comfortable here and learning the system here, I'm okay spending a little bit more money. And from our first apartment through to our third apartment, we went from 8,000 pesos a month to 15,000 pesos a month. 260 bucks for rent. My house in Noblesville, Indiana was $1,800 a month 4 years ago. 5 years ago, sorry. 5 years ago now. My shop cost was the same thing, $1,800 a month. So those two things were $3,600 a month, not including a truck payment, insurance, all that other food, everything. And I'm paying $2,026 a month, supporting a family of three, going on vacations and enjoying life. So I'm not trying to compare to anybody else. I'm just giving you what we spent this year. Next year is going to be an expensive month also. We're going to start our build and hopefully get quite a bit accomplished in 2026. I look forward to showing you guys that build. I just want to say thanks for all the support this year. I hope each and every one of you have a blessed holiday. Have a great New Year's, and let's start off 2026 in a positive mode. And I will see you on the next video. I appreciate it, guys. Take care. Talk soon.